This week's Parsha is Vaeira, the second Parsha in the book of Shmois, of Exodus. It's a Parsha that teaches us how to strengthen our faith, our emunah in Hashem. It starts off with Hashem telling Moshe that I'm going to redeem the Jews from Klal Yisrael. The time has come for redemption. Before the time, I can't do it, Hashem says. Not that he can't, but everything has its time and everything has its place. And a lot of things that we want in life, we want it now, or we want it next week, or whatever. And sometimes it's not ready yet. It's not going to be for us for another week, another month, another year, another decade, for all we know. It's a question of keeping the faith. Moshe Rabbeinu, the greatest tzaddik that ever lived, he says to Hashem, but you know something, Hashem, I agree with you, I'll go tell the Jews, you want me to take them out, I'll do what I can, but they won't listen to me. V'hem lo yishma'eni. Mikoitzer ruach, because they're short-winded. As Rashi explains there, what does it mean short-winded? Anyone who's under a yoke feels a lot of stress and pressure, and they won't have the faith. So here we have a whole parsha which we'll get to, but let's focus right now on what Moshe Rabbeinu is saying. The Jews won't answer. They won't believe me. Ein lo ya'aminu li. They won't believe me because they're under pressure, they're under stress. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov looks at this and he says, lesson 86 in the second part, L'Kutei Moharan, and he says that when a person lacks faith, he has to work harder. Because they didn't listen me kotzer ruach. Kotzer ruach implies not enough faith. Arichas ruach, if a person has patience and he has faith, he knows that Hashem is going to bring it out. So he has that patience to stand and to last out the problems that are happening. But if he doesn't have that patience, so then he's short-winded. In other words, he's like angry, and his temper gets moved right away. It leads to more stress, and it leads to more problems and more difficulties in life when we accept the pressure rather than rely on faith. So Rabbi Nachman tells us when a person lacks faith, their life is much harder. Faith gives the person the power to be able to go forward. Faith gives the person the power to stand back, to hold back. It's not ready yet, right? You want to eat a hamburger, right? You can throw it on the fire, but it's going to take a few minutes to become done, right? You have to have patience, right? If you want to accomplish something, you have to put your head to it, yes, but you also have to be able to be willing to wait. And Rabbi Nachman is telling us that when you don't want to wait, then things become harder. You need avodas koshers. V'lo shomu el Moshe, they didn't listen to Moshe Rabbeinu, mikoitzer ruach u'me'avoda kosher. They didn't listen because they were short-winded. They were short-winded, so that means that they were avoda kosher, that they had a lot of work, they had a lot of hard work. So the first thing to understand is that faith is not just important to life, faith is crucial to living, right? We're going to be under stress. That's what life is all about. If it's not one thing, it's another thing. If it's not another thing, it's a third thing and a fourth thing, and it keeps on going that way. That's what stress is all about. And that's what it's meant to do. How do you react under stress? That's what Hashem wants from us. Hashem says, I'll take them out. I'll do what I can to help them out. And every person, if they want to be honest, will look back on their lives and say, thank you, Hashem, for the life that I had till now. Right? Okay, I had rough times, I had difficult times, but I also had a lot of good things happen to me too. Now, I know people who are 50 years old, and every month they sit there and they shudder. How am I going to meet the mortgage payment this month? Hey, it's 20 years you're saying the same thing. 20 years, how am I going to do this, right? And every month you pay it, because you're still paying it, right? It's a question of faith. You have to have faith and belief that Hashem is there. Hashem knows about it. Actually, He's the one who sent you the stress. You can blame Hashem for the problem. And you can ask Hashem for the solution too, right? So the Parsha is starting off by telling us faith. Faith in Hashem, faith in the Torah, faith in the tzaddikim. Vaeira el ha'ovos, Rashi says. In other words, I appeared to the patriarchs. I did. I will appear to you too. I will be in your life. I am in your life, actually. I'm there, Hashem says. Right? I see what Mitzrayim is from the word Meitzar, a strait, a enclosure, something that tightens around us. Right? In fact, the Medrash says, Rabbi Nachman brings it in lesson 4, that all the exiles, the Medrash, all the exiles are called Mitzrayim. Whenever you say Mitzrayim, you're including all the other exiles that a person has. Because from the word Meitzar, to enclose and lock in a person, to hold them in so that they don't get loose in life, they don't get rid of the stress and whatnot. They needed the faith, and they kept the faith. They kept the faith for the 210 years they were down in Egypt, right? And they were able to come out, and they were able to come forth and emerge as a solid nation. And that's what we need to do. Strengthen our faith in Hashem, strengthen our faith that Hashem is with us. Hashem will be with us at all times. Oy, how do you get out to that? Right? So how do I know that Hashem is with me? Oy, that's what you have to do. Say oy. Oy, Hashem, kaitzer ruach, right? I'm short-winded. I want to have a long, deep sigh. I find I can't even do that. I'm under such pressure. No. Take the time out. Take the time to talk to Hashem. Take the time to say, Hashem, I know you're there for me. I know you want me. Every person should look to Hashem as if he's Hashem's favorite child. Favorite only child. So Hashem has only me to deal with. And if that's the case, I can turn to Hashem anytime. Hashem will turn to me at any time. And I have to talk to Hashem and ask Him, tell Him what my problems are. This is Hitbodedut, or Hisbodedus, that Rabbi Nachman speaks about. It's your private, secluded prayer. You believe in God, then pray to Him. I mean, He's the one who's omnipotent. He's the one who could do the job. So pray to Him to help you. Pray to Him to come back into your life. Not back in, He's always there, but back into the fact that you recognize Him. And you can see wonderful things happening that happened in the past. They will happen in the present too. And of course they will happen in the future. So that's how the Parsha begins, with a lesson of faith. A lesson telling us that we have to turn to Hashem. We have to learn how to turn to Hashem. And how's the best way to turn to Him if not through prayer? When you pray to Hashem, well, that shows that you believe in Him. Why are you praying to Him? If not because you believe that He can take care of your problems. If not because He could provide the solution. So the Parsha starts off with the lesson of faith. And then as we go through it, we actually see, right? Blood. How many of us have had our bloodshed, right? Whether we fell as little children, right? Whether we were embarrassed and whatnot. Blood. Or frogs, all the noise, the outside clutter that happens around us that doesn't let us concentrate. or the kinim, the little bugs that bug us all the time. They bug us in life and whatnot, or the wild animals, the things that we have to face in life and whatnot. Right? It goes on and on. But in every one of the makos, every one of the plagues that Hashem brought upon Egypt, it says, in order for you to know that I am Hashem in the earth. I am Hashem here. I am Hashem with you. Right? We all have these little plagues that plague us. We have these little problems that come to us. Right? And Hashem is always there. Ani Hashem b'kerev ha'aretz, l'man ted'a ki ein kamoini b'chol ha'aretz. I am Hashem in the earth. I am Hashem. There is no one like me, and so on. This is the way the Parsha goes on and on. It teaches us that no matter what happens, it could be humiliation, it could be different problems, little ones, big ones, a lot of noise and cacophony of sounds that don't let us concentrate and focus on what we want to do, like the frogs and whatnot. It happens. But that's what life is, right? And Moshe Rabbeinu is preparing us for the ultimate redemption by saying, you could make it. You could overcome. You can get to where you have to go. And Hashem will help you always. He'll always be there. But what's the solution? How do you get rid of the plagues? It says, Moshe went out and prayed to get rid of the plague. If you go out and pray for it, you have that hispoidus, you will find that you can get rid of the things that annoy you. And Be'ez Hashem, with that, will be zoichet to see all the miracles that are going to happen. Right? The Pasuk in Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah, the verse says, Kimei tzeischom me'eretz Mitzrayim ad enu neflois, as the days when you left Egypt, I will show you in the future the same kind of miracles. You will have plenty of miracles. The fact that we are here in the land of Israel and we're surrounded by all these Mitzrayims, all these enemies, and with all that we're still here, and there isn't a day that goes by where they don't think of how they could destroy us. Omru l'chu v'nachechem migoy, in Tehillim chapter 83, say, let's destroy them from being a nation. That's what happens. Every day they're doing it. Every day they're thinking ways how to get rid of Israel. Little tiny Israel, as if the whole world, right, can't last because of the little tiny Israel that's just supporting a few people and finish. Well, what's going on? But it's one of the great miracles Hashem is showing us. If we believe, you want to believe in miracles, you want to pray to Hashem for salvation, then you're going to see all those beautiful miracles. Like it happened then, it will happen now again. Miyetz Hashem will all merit to see the coming of Mashiach and the building of the Beis HaMikdash speedily in our time. Amen.